So this is basically going to show how the PaintPot app is going to work. So this is just the emulator for it. So the first thing that we were doing is to see whether the color is red, blue or green. So depending on that, the lines are drawn. So if you see using the blue button or the red button, the color changes accordingly. So another one is taking a picture. So that would be pretty hard to show with the emulator. So we can try that with the phone. The other one is the wipe button. So the wipe is basically going to clear the entire canvas. Next is big dots. So big dots are when we're going to be using a variable and set the size of the big dots, the radius to be higher. So it's going to be around 10. So depending on the color you're choosing, the dots are going to be drawn in that radius. And similarly for the small dots, it's going to be small little dots like this. So let's try out this app then. So this is the flowchart of the same app. So we have a few components here which we're going to introduce into this. So we have the use of color buttons. That means the buttons in which we're going to change the properties of. So what we're going to do with that is we're going to check if the red button is clicked, we're going to set the paint color to red. Similarly, if the blue button is clicked, set the paint color to blue, and if the green button is clicked, the paint color is set to green, so that whatever we draw is of that color. And also we're going to use horizontal alignment, so that we can align the command buttons in a better way and not in the default way. We're also going to introduce the concept of canvas. So what exactly happens within the canvas? So according to this app, if we are going to touch the canvas, it means we're going to draw a circle. We're going to be writing the code for that. As well as if we're going to drag the canvas, we're going to draw a straight line. Similarly, we're going to write the code for that as well. And the last but not the least is we're going to add some other special buttons at the bottom. Like if you want to clear the screen out, if you want to take the picture with the camera and then use that as your picture on which you're going to paint on, we're going to do that as well. So this is just a brief explanation of what the PaintPot app is going to do. So now let's get to how we're going to achieve this. So let's create a new project. I'm going to call it PaintPot. So there we go, we have created a new project. So here we're going to introduce the concept of a canvas, which is going to be used to create simple two-dimensional graphics. So what a PaintPot app is going to do is it's going to allow the user to draw in different colors and different shapes on a picture which he's going to upload of his own, or he's also going to be taking a picture of himself or anyone else and also going to be painting on that. So a lot of comical stuff can come out of this. So what we can do is, what we're going to learn in this is, as I said, we're going to learn about the canvas component. We're going to learn about handling the touch and drag events of the canvas. Also, we're going to control the screen layout with arrangement components, the horizontal arrangements. We're going to use event handlers that take arguments. That is, when we're going to draw the circle and the line, you'll see that we're going to take arguments. And we're also going to introduce the concept of variables. So now let's get started. Now let's start designing the components. So what are the components that we need according to this PaintPot app? So we need to add 3 button components. So let's drag and drop 3 button components. And as I told you, we're going to have color buttons. So let's also look to rename them. So we have an option for renaming here. I'm going to call this as red button. Similarly, I'm going to do the same for the other 2. I'm going to call this as blue button. And the last but not the least, I'm going to call this green button. Now I also want to change the color of the background for each of them. So this is green button, so I'm going to make it green. This is a blue button, so I'm going to make it blue. And this is a red button, so I'm going to make it red. And also I'm going to change the text for each of these buttons. So I'm going to say red. I'm going to say blue. And I'm going to say green. So according to our flow chart, we have this where if the red button is clicked, we're going to do something in red. If the blue button is clicked, we're going to do something in blue. And if the green button is clicked, we're going to do something in green. So we'll see how that works. Alright, so this is what we have so far. We're going to add a horizontal component. This horizontal component is basically to align the buttons so that we organize them in a way that we want. To use horizontal components, we have to go to the layout option and click on horizontal component and drag it here. There you go. So it's something like this. We have added the horizontal component and made these three buttons be in a horizontal line and not the vertical line, which is what happens by default. So we're also going to change a few settings. We're going to change the width of the horizontal component. We're going to make the width as fill parent, and we're also going to that just shows that the entire length of the width of the screen is going to be the width of the horizontal component. And what you'll see here is you'll see that all the components, that the blue, red and the green button, are now within the component of the horizontal arrangement. So it's going to show you that these are the sub-components of the horizontal arrangement component. You can also change the name of this component if you wish to, but it's not necessary right now. Next is we're going to add the canvas. So now when you're going to add the canvas, we have to go to drawing and animation and drag and drop a canvas. So the properties that we need to set for the canvas are, first let's change the name of it. Let's say call it drawing canvas instead of just canvas. Drawing canvas, so that it's going to be easier to understand what exactly it is. Next we're going to change the width to fill parent. So we have a width component here called fill parent, and the height to say 3000 pixels. There we go. So what we see is it fills up the entire screen. Now we have to add a background image to this canvas. So let's do that. So let's go to background image and choose a file. So I'm going to use the kitty. I'm going to upload this file onto the server. And now we're going to set the paint color to red by default. I'm sorry, I'm going to change the size to 300, not 3000. There you go. And I'm going to change the paint color. By default it's black. I'm going to make it red so that we'll see the difference of using this option later on. And there you go. So what this means is anytime I'm going to click on this or do anything, by default it's going to do it in red color. So now we want to add a few more extra buttons at the bottom of the canvas. So for that we're going to drag out another horizontal component. So we go to layout and we drag and drop a horizontal component, and we want to add 4 buttons here. So these 4 buttons, we go to user interface and drag and drop 4 more buttons. There we go. So we have 4 buttons here which have been added. And now we're going to go ahead and again rename them like how we had renamed the previous buttons. So the first one is going to be called the take picture. So I'm going to rename this as take picture button. The next one is going to be the wipe button. So again rename this as wipe button. The next one is going to be renamed as the big button. So I will get to what that's going to do. And the next one is going to be named as small button. Alright, so now we're also going to rename the text within the button to the same. So this is going to be take picture. This is going to be named as wipe. This is going to be called as big button. Or big dots. And this is not going to be called as small dots. Okay, so we have 4 buttons which are placed in the horizontal arrangement. So we have all of these under horizontal arrangement 2, whereas we have all of these 3 buttons as horizontal arrangement 1. So now we're going to drag and drop a camera component into the viewer. It is going to be appearing in the non-visible component area. So to get the camera, go to media and drag and drop a camera component. There you go. So you'd see that it's going to be added in the non-visible components. So now we're done with the user interface. We are going to add behaviors to these components. So we need to define how these components behave. So now we're creating a painting program, and basically App Inventor has done almost all the heavy lifting, and all we need to do is drag and drop a few blocks for handling the user's touch and drags and so on. So now let's go to the blocks viewer. Okay, so we are going to first add the touch event to draw a dot. So as you remember, in the flow chart we said if the canvas is touched, we're going to draw a circle. So in the blocks editor, select the drawer for the drawing canvas. So here we have when drawing canvas dot touched, we're going to add this block. So what we want to do, as you see, you have 2 parameters, x, y, and the touched sprite as shown here. So what we're going to do here is it's basically going to tell us the x and y components on which it's been touched. So the coordinates where you're touching the screen is going to be shown by the x and y, these arguments. So what we want to do when we are touching, when the canvas is going to be touched, is we want to draw a circle. So again, go here, and when this canvas is touched, we want canvas dot draw circle. So we're going to call this procedure, and we're going to use the values from this x and y. So how are we going to use that? So we're just going to click on this, and we're going to use that as the x component. So we're going to have the x and y coordinates from where we have touched it. Similarly, the y coordinate of where we have touched the y point. And now we're going to draw a circle of a particular radius. Any radius we can go with. So say I'm going to go with 5. So we go to math and we drag and drop this number component here. There you go. So I hope this is clear. So we have 2 variables x and y. This x and y is going to have the values of the coordinates in which we are touching the canvas. So using that value, we're drawing a circle of radius 5. So this is what happens when we're going to touch the canvas. So what if we want to drag the canvas? Suppose we're going to drag on the canvas. According to the flow chart, we want to draw a line. So similarly, click on the drawing canvas, and when drawing canvas dot dragged, what we want to do, we want to draw a straight line. So if you see, we have more arguments here. We have the start x and the start y, that's the position of your fingers when you're going to start dragging. The current x and the current y, that's the current position of your fingers. The previous x and the previous y, which is going to be the immediately previous position of your finger. And the drag sprite is basically, it will be true if the user drags on an image sprite. We won't basically be using this argument right now. So here what we want to do is we want, when the drawing canvas is dragged, we want to draw a straight line. So for that, we're going to call this procedure called call drawing canvas dot draw line. So here you see and x1, y1, x2 and y2. So we have the coordinates for which the line is going to be drawn. So again, similar to how we got the values of the x and y using the get function, we're going to do the same for the x1, y1, x2 and y2 for the line. So we're going to go from the previous x to the current x. So we're going to get the value of previous x and previous y. Similarly, we're going to draw it to the x2 value is the current x and current y. So the line is going to be drawn from the previous value of x1, y1 to the current value of x2, y2. So this procedure is going to ensure that when we're going to drag on the canvas, it's going to draw a straight line. So now we've added the procedures or the behaviors for the canvas. Now let's add the button event handler. So we've added a few buttons. To just go back to what the buttons were, there was the blue, red and green button, as well as the take picture, wipe, big button and the small button. So let's now write behaviors for each of them. So now first let's go to the red, blue and green button. So what we want to do here, according to this, was when a red button is clicked, we want to set the paint color to red. Alright, so that means we are going to go to the red button. When the red button is clicked, what do we want to do? We want to set the canvas's paint color to red. So just go to the drawing canvas here and we'll have to search for setting the value to that. Set drawing canvas dot paint color to red. So we have the colors component here, so we're just going to drag and drop that here. So similarly we're going to do the same thing for the green and the blue flag. So let's just duplicate it so that we don't have to keep repeating it, dragging and dropping it again. So it shows an error. That means this shows that there's a duplicate error handler for this component. So we don't want it to be red button, we want it to be blue. And we want to change this to blue. Similarly, just dragging and dropping it by duplicating it. The other one was green button. So I'm going to go to colors and I'm going to make this green. There you go. So these are your behaviors for these three buttons. The next one is what we want to do with the wipe button. So according to this, if the wipe button is clicked, we're going to clear the canvas. So let's go and do that. So now let's just write the behaviors for the wipe button. So when wipe button dot click, we want to go to the drawing canvas and we want to clear it. So we need to find the procedure for that called drawing canvas dot clear. So this is going to ensure that when the wipe button is clicked, we're going to clear out the canvas. And now we have another three buttons to write behaviors for, and that is the take picture, the big dots and the small dots. So now we've been using this paint pot with the picture of the kitty which we have uploaded, but suppose the user wants to take a picture and then work on that itself. So for that we're going to use the camera component. As we remember, we have added a non-visible camera component here. So now let's make use of that. So let's go to the blocks editor. The camera component has two main key blocks. If you see here, the camera component, it's got when camera1.afterPicture and .takePicture. So afterPicture is triggered when the user is finished taking the picture. So you'll add blocks in the camera.afterPicture event handler to set the background image to the image which was just taken. So we need to first, for that we're going to use the take picture button. That's when we're going to use this after picture option of the camera. So we go to the take picture. When camera1.afterPicture is, that means we're done with taking the picture. What we want to do is we want to set the canvas background image. So it's going to be set drawing canvas.background image to the value of the image. So this image we're going to get after we've taken the picture. So when this button is going to be clicked, so when take picture.click, we're going to call camera1.takePicture. So we're basically making the camera take the picture when the take picture button is going to be clicked. There you go. So I hope this was followed. When take picture button is clicked, we're going to call the camera one.take picture. So after the camera one is going to take the picture, it's going to set the drawing canvas background image to the picture which it's just taken. So now that completes the option of adding your own picture. Now we have these two other blocks, two other command buttons which we have created, that's big dots and small dots. These two buttons are basically to change the size of the circle which is going to be drawn. So now changing the dot size. If you remember, by default we made the radius of the circle to be 5, but we can change that value by using variables. So the size of the dots drawn on the drawing canvas is determined in the call to drawing canvas.drawCircle, that is the value of the radius is set to 5. To change the thickness, you can also put in other value. So to test this, let's just change it from 5 to 10 and you'll see the difference on your app. So now we need to keep changing the value each time we want to change the size. So each time we have to come here and change the value and go. So to use different values, the app needs to know which one we want to apply. Suppose we want to at one point we want big dots, so we want the radius to be 10, but the other time we want small dots, so we want the radius to be 2. So we can't come here and change it each time. So to use the different values for the radius argument, the app needs to know which one we want to apply, either the big dots or the small dots. So we have to tell it to use a specific value and it has to store or remember that value somehow so that we can keep using that. That's when we're going to use the concept of variables. So a variable is going to be a memory cell. So you can basically store the data you want so that it knows whether, so it can map it and say that for a small dot the size is going to be 2, whereas a big dot the size is going to be 10, and so on. So now let's first define a variable. So for that we have to go in the blocks editor. Let's go to initialize global variables. So we have variables here. So we're going to initialize a global variable. So we're going to call the global variable dot size. And we're going to set the value to a default value, that's 2. Okay, so here we've initialized a global variable to the size 2. So now we're going to use the variables. Next we want to change the argument of the draw circle to the value dot size and not to have the value 5. So now we're going to drag and drop a get from the drawing canvas dot draw circle. So what we see here is we remove this component, we don't want this anymore, and we're just going to duplicate, say, this thing, so that when it comes here we can click on this and we can get the value of the global dot size. So there you go. So we can you should be able to see a global dot size block that was provided. So similarly we have now set the value as global dot size and not 5. So now how do we change the value of these variables? So each time if we want to come back and set this value to 10, then the value here also will change to 10. But now we have these two options called small button and big button. So first let's code for small button. So when small button is clicked, what do we want to do? We want to set the variable size to 2. So drag out a small button dot click from the small button draw, and now we're going to set the block size of the variables. So go back to variables. Here we're going to set the value of global dot size. We want to set the value to 2. So that means every time this button is clicked, the value of this variable is going to be 2, and that's what the value here will be as well. But if a big button is going to be clicked, so for a big button, when big button dot click, we're going to do the same thing, but here we're going to set the value of the radius to be 10. So drag this, drop this here, and make it 10. So the global in the get and set refers to the fact that the variable can be used in all event handlers of the program globally. So there you go. That is your complete PaintPot app. And if you see that all of the options which we were looking for in the flowchart is completed here, you can go ahead and test your app now.